Greetings, mortals, and welcome. Please present your tickets for validation. Thank you. Your existence has been acknowledged, and you have been granted access every Thursday and Friday. You will be accompanying your guides, Krista and Brandy, along with a world-renowned guest. They will be exploring an intriguing tendril of what humans refer to as reality each week, as they strive to advance you further down the path to the truths of your physical earth and what lies on the other side. Remember to please keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times, and do not exit until the craft has come to a complete stop.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
TGIF. Thank goodness.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's going to be another short week for me. I get an extended day this week because of Veterans Day. So thank you to all the veterans.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
And, I don't, but thanks.
Yeah. For sure. So we have a pretty interesting show tonight. We're going to talk about Zach Bagan's haunted museum, and he has some really, really, really crazy things in his museum. But before we do that, we're going to talk about something else that you brought up tonight, Brandy.
Yeah, I this is something weird. I got into reading last night, and then I happened across this article about these 43 monkeys escaping in South Carolina in Beaufort County at the Genesis biotech company. This is the scariest thing, y'all. I just have to say.
How did 43 monkeys escape? I'm just asking.
Okay, so I have somebody that lives in the area, and they used to work there. So let's just call them my source. My source who worked there, her boyfriend still works there.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't work in that particular building, but he works in another building from that facility. She worked in that particular facility that they are discussing. She was telling me that they have throughout the facility a two-door system where you go out one door, you secure the door, you go out another door, and you secure another door. So that is to prevent monkeys escaping if they get out of their enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is something
that's for security. Yes,
right. So she was telling me that this older part where these monkeys escaped from, there is a 4-door security. So they would have had to go through 4 doors to get out of the facility. Now, what they're stating from something else that I read in the news is that somebody negligently did not secure the door. Now, remember, we were talking about the hole and the maintenance, that it had been a maintenance problem, not seeing a hole in the enclosure, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was a worker who was negligent unlocking the doors. I
have a question. Did your friend happen to say, so like how big were these enclosures? Because putting 43 monkeys in one enclosure seems kind of not right to me.
Well, they're quite extensive. I mean, they're not small by any means. They're not small. But the thing is that they do have them separated out, and they have different enclosures for different troops, as we would call it. And they're saying, I read this stupid thing in the article. I swear it says these monkeys are young, which they are. She said, yeah, they were, and that they cannot get diseases. Okay, so I don't know who's trying
from diseases. I don't understand that.
I didn't either. Okay, because we all know that monkeys contract HIV. HIV is passed from mother to infants.
Right.
Right. Okay. So we know that some of these monkeys do have HIV, and that's what she said. She said she didn't run across very many that tested negative. Most of them
Wow.
tested positive when she was in the facility.
That's cool.
And they're bringing them in from this particular location all the time. She said that these are one of the most aggressive primates, the rhesus monkey,
Wow.
and that they're inbred so bad that they're basically feral.
Wow.
That's what she said. That they're just absolutely just won't, they're just absolutely crazy. And so she said that it had to have definitely been some kind of negligence, either on maintenance part or the worker's part that was in the enclosure. I mean, she told me that she had to wear hazmat suits whenever she was in the enclosures and things like that, because even the feces getting into perhaps your eyes or things like that could give you the disease and you could die a horrible death.
Wow.
So back in, I guess it was in 2014, they had another jailbreak. Let's just call it that. They had another jailbreak. But I guess the federal government got involved then because they had to do some kind of type of contract to make sure that this stuff is not happening. But then, some happened again. I didn't know if it was to the extent of the 43, but some happened again, I think in 2019 it happened. Wow. And then now we've got 43 this year, and they're just out there running rampant through the woods and everything. She said that the whole facility it's forested around there. So they have plenty of places to hide and to move. And, of course they can travel at a faster pace than human can.
Sure. Wow.
So,
I wonder how many they've caught. Or
0.
Really?
0. They haven't caught not one yet.
Wow. I've seen on Facebook where Jessie Doyle, Hellbent Holler, she had shared that. And they're from that area. So I was just, that's
right.
Great.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thing is if you're in the area, please make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings, anything weird sounds, anything like that. Be careful of your pets. Just anything like that. Now, this person still lives in Beaufort County.
Wow.
And she said they're far away, but they're not that far, is what she said.
Well, they can travel. Why couldn't they? Justin says the reports of little feet are going to start going wild.
I know. So, like I said, I mean, it's just a matter of this is not something that we should, brush off. This is something terrible because they can't get these monkeys, right? They're trying to entice them with food to get them, to trap them, but they're scared. They're scared.
Well, Ristel said the feral monkeys here in Florida are infected with a strain of herpes that can be fatal to humans. So it's like,
there you go. She said that too. She said they've got that strain too, that they've got a whole slew of diseases. And so she goes, I don't know why anybody would say that they couldn't have diseases.
No. Maybe it's so it doesn't start like a public freak out. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why.
I mean, of course, you got to look at the Florida issue. I mean, we already know that they have these things. I mean, why wouldn't these? I mean, it's just kind of like it would be scary to be living around there. I don't know. Yeah. Werewolf said monkeys are devious. They can open doors and windows. That's why they're saying to lock them. Yeah. Make sure you lock them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Right in your house. They're not stupid. That's for sure.
I mean, that would make me, like, if I had any type of animals outdoors, that would make me very concerned. I don't even care if it was cattle, goats, whatever. I would be very concerned.
Yeah. Amy says, unless we're being set up for another health scare. Could be. Who knows at this point?
It could be. It could be. Of course, my source said that there are a lot of problems within the facility, within in the employers, the employees, people in management. That it's not a surprise.
So how many people are employed at this place? Do you know anything about it? Like how big of a?
No, she didn't tell me that. She didn't tell me that.
I
No.
would just be curious. And like the cameras, I mean, they got to have, I just have a lot of questions.
I know.
Like, do they have cameras?
We can call her. We can call her. You know what I mean? We can call her.
Yeah.
I can't get her on here, but we can call her and ask her.
Right. Please do.
Right. We can definitely do a 3-way call. She would love that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, this is something scary, something very scary. And I'm scared for her. I'm scared for her boyfriend. I'm scared for, just everybody over there.
Absolutely. It is scary stuff. So once again, if you're in the South Carolina area,
Beaufort County and anywhere surrounding. It's what is it, the Genesis? I think it's the Genesis Biotech. I think that's the name of the company, Genesis. So if you're around that area, please be careful. They've already had video coming out where people are seeing them in the woods. So them taking video and all that kind of stuff of them running out in there. So be very careful.
Paranormal Paul said, do you think they were released on purpose to distract us from something else? Maybe.
I don't think so. From what she explained to me, I don't think so. I think negligence is definitely a number one thing.
Yeah.
And and it's like somebody had said, well, somebody's going to be fired. I'm like, a whole lot of somebody's are going to be
criminal.
fired.
That is criminal.
Right. Because they even unknowingly let loose something that could be fatal. Yeah.
It could, and it's definitely a threat and dangerous to, the public for sure.
Right. And unfortunately, with the state of these monkeys being inbred and having diseases and whatever they could have, because we don't know, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of hope for them. What happens is people think it's a great idea to bring troops of these monkeys to the United States for testing or whatever, but they're not realizing that that this is a bad thing. And they only have so many places where they can house these monkeys and take care of them to the point, that they could be viable, should I say viable.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a sad thing, but like I said, I think negligence is a number one problem.
Well, Ristol said there was a monkey update an hour ago. They have video of some of the infectious little rascals on drone camera. And then T-Bone wants to know, do you know what the gun laws are there?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I know it's in the county, but I don't know if it's within city limits.
Yeah.
A city limit. Most states have, where if you're not in city limits, the gun laws are more relaxed. But South Carolina, I don't know what they are. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't. But I would say, if you are in the area, protect yourself.
Yep. This is a good point too. They know exactly what the risks are and they focus on the bottom line.
Yep, that's the big company. Yes, it's a sad thing to say, and I hate to talk about it like that, but I'm telling you, I understand that they use these monkeys for testing. I get it, but these monkeys are already like diseased from the get-go, and they're the last line before they start testing on humans. I mean, it has to be done somewhere, and.
Yeah.
And if they're already infected and they're trying to cure what they're infected with, I get it. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I gotcha. Wow. That's pretty crazy. When you sent me that text today, I was like, holy crap, man.
I know. I was stewing all night and I'm like, I can't call her. I'm going to have to wait. So I texted her this morning when I got to work, and she called me when she got off work. You know, but
Yeah.
but I do have to say she is now doing something she loves, and that's all that's important. She
All
is
that
now
matters.
helping. She is now helping animals instead of that. Instead of that. But
Yeah.
it's just a crazy thing, and I just don't know what they're going to do about it now, and how long this is going to go on, or if they're actually going to have to euthanize these animals.
I bet they
Because
will. They'll
because they're
euthanize.
not going to be able to catch them.
Yeah, I bet they'll euthanize them.
Yeah.
Monkeys
Yeah.
are smart. They really are. So, like,
They're very smart.
they
Very
know what traps
smart.
are. Yep. Yeah.
That's,
I agree.
yeah,
I agree with Amy, though. What a heartbreaking place to work. I would agree. That would be
Yeah.
sad.
And it was for her. She did tell me a lot of stories throughout the years, and she said she just couldn't do it anymore. She just couldn't do it. But I mean, when you're looking at the scientific side of it, it's like you're looking for the cure, people. You're just looking for the cure. And if it takes that to save lives, human lives, well, sometimes you just have to do that. And like I said, I don't like it, but I understand.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, are you ready to talk some haunted stuff?
Let's talk some haunted stuff. Let me get off of that monkey business.
The monkey business, literally the monkey business.
Because I'm pretty upset about it. You know what I mean? I'm just upset about it. I mean,
it's on all ends. Exactly. All ends. So we're going to talk about Zach Bagan's haunted museum. He actually has some really sick and morbid items in that museum.
And
that's putting it nicely.
Well, yeah, but how twisted do you have to be?
You have to be
to go find these items.
I mean, I get having the haunted dolls and things like that, but
sure.
We're not even going to talk about some of the stuff I was reading about. I'm like, oh no, we're not even going there. That's just
well, no. A lot of it is morbid.
Yeah.
It's not just haunted items. It's just to have items that are morbid, and I'm like, I've never been. My son lives out there, and he tells me if I come out there at one point that he'll take me over there. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Because the things that Chris and I know are in there, and I just don't know if I would want to open myself up to that.
Right. There's some really bad stuff in there. So the museum actually opened on April 2nd of 2016. It's an 11,000 square foot property. It was built in 1938. And the original owner that owned the mansion, they had many family members pass away there throughout the years. And it said after the family got out of it, it sat abandoned for a while. And then supposedly some occult activity took place during the 70s there. And there's 33 rooms. And they're actually been expanding on it. And it has everything from literally the morbid items to some stuff from the movie Ghostbusters to even a van of Willie Nelson. So it's not all morbid, but yet it's,
Right. Well, so, I mean, this is the thing. My son is now deployed. He's in Japan. Mm-hmm. And he will be there for probably about 6 months or so. So I have 6 more months or so to think about going. And I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you do go, so, last night after the show, you and I were kind of talking about tonight's show. And we had talked about the one room that people get sick and people have health issues. So that is the puppet room. And apparently that is very common for people just to pass out in the middle of the room, or people go home. There's people who have left there, went home and had heart attacks. So I'm not so sure I didn't want to go, because is it worth putting your health at risk if this all really is taking place like that? I mean, seriously, we're not 20 anymore, Brandy.
We're not talking about an attachment. We're talking about death here, people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no. And it's just kind of but see, it's different for you and I because we're well aware of what's happening. We know what to do before we will walk into the place. We're just
Yeah.
not walking in not knowing.
Yeah.
You know, this, I mean, yeah, it is an attraction. I get that part, but
Yeah.
it's serious. It is very
is.
serious stuff. And
Yeah.
from the looks of some of it, when I've watched some of the shows he's done on it, and people have done like, you know, like experiments and things in there, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have that stuff protected very well.
Not a lot of it.
It's
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah,
and,
it's just
and,
kind of like it's just
Yep.
hanging out there. Like, okay, well, here's a rope. Don't pass it, but there it is.
Yeah, people like
"Mm,
just going through there, like nosebleeds are common there, like to just as a guest and be walking through, you know, just to get a nosebleed. So, I mean, there's definitely some weirdness going on, even if, you know, it don't cause you to have a heart attack, but you still get a nosebleed, you know, that's just
Well,
weird.
yeah. And I think that I heard at one point he was doing an interview with somebody in there, and he said the building itself is haunted.
Yes, it is.
Um,
And that's where
so-
it goes back to like the multiple deaths that the original owners had. It was a mansion, and they've had family members die in there, and then it was empty, sat empty. Well, then some cultists got in there and started practicing dark arts in there.
Oh,
so
fabulous.
conjured things, exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's just no, thank you.
Oh.
So, and I do know, like, to even tour the museum, you have to sign a waiver, like, because of like the health issues or attachments or things like that.
Right. And you are absolutely correct. I mean, they're smart in doing that. I mean, because if they're having reports of health issues and everything after people are leaving, they don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Riley, Ron Ivy Forrest asked, "Are cursed objects real?" I thought it isn't a real thing. It's absolutely a real thing.
Yes.
At the Ray County Museum that we frequent all the time, there's several haunted items there, and it's definitely, you can definitely I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah.
Right.
Little Patty says you
Right.
can bleed to death from a nosebleed. I didn't know that. Anyway, so let's talk about the first item. So the first item, we actually had the owner on our show before. I'm gonna see if I can bring this up here, this picture. You know what I'm talking about, Brandy. Let me find the picture. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. And all the pictures, I will tell you guys, so some of the stuff at the museum, they say if you look at it or even look through the pictures, you know, you can get haunted or health issues. I am not showing any of those pictures. So just to let you know, I didn't even want to see them. So these are all, from what I was told, safe pictures to post and to look at. So the first one where you're going to talk about.
These are all viewer friendly photos.
Viewer friendly photos. Yes. So this one, Brandy, we know about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the Dybbuk box. Oops, I've tried to make it where the picture took over. But anyway, this is the Dybbuk box. And you want to talk a little bit about that, Brandy?
Well, you know, basically what this box is it was just something that people would use for their own purposes, such as wishes, dreams, things like that. It's kind of like if you wanted something to happen, then you put all your stuff in the box, and then, you know, and then it's supposed to come true eventually. Now, the problem with this particular box is that there was something put into it.
Yeah.
And that what it was supposed to do or what it was supposed to find never came to fruition.
Yeah.
So the Dybbuk box was still trying to continually complete the task that it was given.
Yeah.
So when we had the person who actually owned the box, when he got a hold of it, that's why he had such a hard time with it, because it was actually due to somebody else's.
Absolutely.
I don't want to call it a ritual. I don't want to call it any task. We're just going to call it was still trying to do somebody else's task, which was never finished.
Mm-hmm. And his name, the guy that we had on our show, his name was Jason. And he bought this on eBay. He actually runs a museum himself in Kirksville, Missouri, on different items. And when Brandy and I we hosted our first conference, he was actually a speaker, and he brought a replica of the Dybbuk box and talked about it. But I'm gonna take that off so we can finish talking about it. But like he had it. It started out, he had it at his house, and it made him sick. Like he loses all of his hair and things like that.
Yeah, he was physically ill from having this thing. He even tried to bury it. He tried to do all kinds of stuff with it, but it was relentless.
Yes.
It kept
buried. I think it kind of like gave him a little bit of a break, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, but you remember, it was still kind of nagging at him, still doing this little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then he figured out when he was doing more research what was actually needed to be done. So when he figured out that, when he found out all the information and kind of like solved the puzzle.
Yeah.
When he solved the puzzle of what the problem was with the box, or what it needed to know, or what it was trying to bring out, then it kind of dissipated.
Yeah. And Werewolf says, I thought the Jewish beliefs from the last century, they would trap evil entities in it.
I mean, they say that. They say that. And I imagine it could be.
Yeah.
But these things were used as a tool. Kind of like, not conjuring. I don't want to say that either.
Yeah.
But kind of. It's really hard to explain. You'll have to read up exactly on what a Dybbuk box is, and there's many of them out there. There's many out there today.
Is Jason Haxton, and we've actually had him on a couple times, or Tex had him on too, but we've had him on Bonds here, and he's talked extensively on this box on how he got it, and the previous owner sold it because he believes the box killed his mother.
Yes.
And what I find interesting too is I was reading about the box, and that apparently singer Post Malone actually opened the box, and he had a strain of bad luck for. Yeah, I read that. So
okay, so here's my question on that whole thing. It was all done on the show.
Yeah,
it was all done on the show.
Yeah.
And now, if Scott had fixed all of that and figured out figured out the puzzle. Why would it still have something in it that was still active? You know what I mean? So, I mean, they put on this grand thing about opening it up. I mean, there was the video on it where they showed actually some kind of mist or something escaping from it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Amy, that was previous, the beginning owners of the box. We're talking about the last owner before Zach Bagans is the guy we know, Jason Haxton, who owned the Dybbuk box.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, it's just it's just a bad box, and let's move on.
It's just a bad box. Yeah, but I mean, after he found out exactly what the puzzle was, I don't know why it would be still have some type of energy left in it. Yeah, I don't know.
So Zach Bagans also owns. This is pretty morbid here. Bone fragments and ashes of Charles Manson's. We all know about Charles Manson, and he also acquired 2 paintings. One of the paintings was given to him by Jason Freeman, and it was one that Manson actually painted. The other, and I have a picture of it, is a picture of another guy painted with Charles Manson's ashes in it, and this is the painting. So the guy that did this, I can't remember his name. Shoot, thought I had it in here, but I don't think I do. That's what his paintings are. So he paints pictures with people's remains. That's pretty morbid, isn't it?
Could I say why? I just want to know why.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, why have the remains?
Oh, here's the
Why
guy's
have the
name.
picture?
Here's the guy's name. Ryan Almighty is the guy who painted this. Yeah.
But why? I mean, the man was clearly evil.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
also, this is even sicker. So the painting that Manson did is set, and he is said to have urinated on it.
why would you do?
Because he's a
I
sick
can't.
individual.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, why sensationalize?
Listen, what else he
someone like
owns
that?
about Manson's. I'm not done. Listen to this. This is just sick shit, man. So he also owns a hospital gown that Manson died in, complete with the stains, the toe tag from his deceased body, and the sheet that was used to drape over Manson's body after passing. It's all on display there. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Like I said, why? I mean, that right there, I mean, that should have just been burnt. All of that stuff should have been burnt. That man shouldn't be talked about. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
That man deserves nothing.
Yeah.
He's like an evil celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
He really is. He's sick in the head. Somebody that is that obsessed with that kind of stuff is just sick in the head. Just saying.
I know. Well, I'm having my thoughts about Zach. I mean, he bought it. I mean, there's a market. He bought it.
Yeah, they call it murderabilia. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, to actually paint somebody's ashes, no, thank you. No.
I know. And what kind of a sick individual does that? Seriously, like uses ashes to,
I know. And then another one that's he actually peed on.
Yeah. Why would you want that?
What? Yeah.
Well, just think about it. We know Robin Terry, who owns Ashmore Estates, and he does have a painting by John Wayne Gacy.
He has a couple of items. He does have a chest or something like that also.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any body parts to it.
No.
Right. There's a big difference there,
Yeah, there's a difference between something about owning that.
Mm-hmm.
That goes in that leads me into the morbid curiosity type of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. All right. Next item. Dr. Death Van. Remember Dr. Kevorkian?
I do. That man was, oh gosh, there was another evil individual.
Yes, very much so. And so over 130 people died in this van that he had assisted suicides. And I've got a couple pictures of the van. It's just, here it is before Zach Bagans bought it. And then here it is in the museum. Crazy, isn't it? So, this van here actually, so Dr. Kevorkian, at first, back in, I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s, where it was a big thing because, you can put your dog down when your dog's sick, but you can't, do this to humans who, have a terminal illness. And so it was a big thing. And come to find out, the majority of people that he helped assist to die were not even terminally ill. So he was sick in his own way. Just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
Because these people wanted to go to the other side. He helped them out. It did, regardless of what what was happening. What he was telling everybody was people who were terminally ill, especially when he started getting trouble. And he was, they're why can't they choose when they want to pass, when they're going to pass anyway, blah, blah, blah. That was his whole thing. Why wait until they're in so much pain and it's unbearable to live? Why can't you, da, da, da. Some of these people weren't even seriously ill.
Yeah.
That it
No,
was
they
very
weren't.
curable what these
They
people
weren't.
had.
A lot of them had depression. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not, they wanted to die. You just helped them yeah. And supposedly, like, I guess the person actually, I read up on it, and actually, like, they would give it to themselves. He would just hook it up to them. So like when they were ready, they would push a button, and yeah, it's still murder. I'm sorry. It's still, you're still a killer.
Absolutely. It's like, look here, let me hand you this pew pew. Okay. Let me just hand it to you fully loaded. All you got to do is pull the trigger.
Right.
I mean, does that make you any less guilty? No.
Nope. Not at all.
No, because you provided what they needed. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's and I hate to say this, it's kind of like a drug dealer with fentanyl. Here's the fentanyl. I'm not gonna make you use this, but here you go.
Yep.
And
So-
they're prosecuting these dealers all the time, so that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
It makes no
I
sense
just
at
go
all.
off on other things.
What would you think that van's worth?
For me, $0.
What do you think Zach Bagans paid for it?
I'm gonna say he paid $500,000.
Nope, not quite, but $32,500
Oh,
for
see.
a van that did not run. It was actually sitting in a American Jewelry and Loan pawn shop in Detroit had it, and it was in storage, parked in their storage, and they put it.
See,
up
I thought it would have went for more, just due to the curiosities and oddities, things that are everywhere, popping up everywhere. I figured it'd be worth more, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, $32,500 for a van that did not run.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. That's when you have
it's a lot of money, but it's not as much as I thought it would have been, because just the people out there that think that stuff is cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awful. Awful. All right. So the next item that he has that I think is pretty morbid is Ted Bundy's glasses. I got a picture of those. Let's show Ted Bundy's glasses right there. What do you think he paid for those? You're going to be shocked on this. Yeah. What do you think he paid for those glasses?
I don't know. I can't tell you on those. I mean, as much as he did for the vehicle, I guess.
He actually paid more for those glasses than he did for that vehicle.
And really?
Yes. He paid $50,000 for them glasses.
Why would you even want those things?
What I'm saying. Isn't that crazy? Like,
I mean, I can understand keeping stuff from our loved ones, but no.
Yeah.
Just no.
Yeah.
I mean, was he betting that these things are they're haunted or have an attachment, or is that what he was hoping for? I wonder.
I have no idea. No idea. And they're sitting behind I guess he's got a jail exhibit there. And so they're sitting behind like the jail cells or something. And it's original jail cells from somewhere. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy.
What? I don't know. That's just asking for trouble. That's asking for trouble. But they are saying that Zach doesn't spend a whole lot of time there.
No, of course not.
Well, heck no. I buy all this creepy stuff that could have these demonic attachments. I'll throw it in a building and I say, hey, you run it.
Yeah.
How about that?
One thing I do got to say, like I will give Zach this credit. He does not allow children in the museum.
Well, I mean, would you allow children in the building to observe serial killers' items?
I don't take my kids to haunted locations unless I know that location very well.
Right. No, but it's not even to do with haunted. Would you take them to a museum to view serial killers' items?
No.
No.
So,
No, because they'd be reading about serial killers and all the history, all that. No, thank you. No.
Yeah. I know, right? So the
Right.
next item we're going to talk about, I know you've heard of this guy, Ed Gein, serial killer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Zach Bagans has his cauldron.
No.
And it is said to have that Gein would dig up corpses and use their skin to create furniture around his home. And this cauldron would have been used to store body parts or allow the skin to be removed from the bone more easily. And I've got a picture of the cauldron. There's the cauldron.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Yeah. What do you think he paid for that? This one will shock you. It did me. I'm like, no way.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
$2,800. $2,800. $2,800.
I said $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, because nobody would want that. It's had.
Well, there's a big money market on. They call it murderabilia.
Well, they've cooked human body parts in that. Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
Look at South Cal Squatcher says chili pot. I don't think so.
Of the cannibalism type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I can't understand that.
I
really
know.
can't.
But see, that's what I don't understand. I think he's buying these items to see if there's an attachment.
Yeah, and maybe with the luck, he will, but if not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like he's buying these items to subject all these people to. I don't know.
Right. Well, little Patty says, I have a morbid curiosity for serial killers, but I do not want to own anything that belonged to them. Amen. Like, it's funny because Brandy and I, as y'all know, we travel a lot together. And when we do travel, we stay in the same hotel rooms. And so we always laugh because for us to go to sleep, we have to put killing on. We put the ID channel. We call it killing.
Put the killing on,
It's always the ID channel.
Right. It's the ID channel and things like that, because I do have a curiosity because I'm like, why did these people do what they do? Why did they think, what they think and how did it all begin? I mean, it's the questioning of their whole psyche, that intrigues me and how they thought they were going to get away with this and didn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's how they got away with it for so long before they got caught.
Right. Right.
It's just, it just makes me wonder sometimes.
Me too. It's pretty sickening. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just, it
is kind of gross.
Just for those reasons alone, for just some of those few items, and like, I have no interest in going to Zach Bagan's museum. None. And on top of it, where tickets are like $85 a piece.
Oh,
for 2 hours.
No.
2 hours. Yeah.
I'll go see a show on the strip for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll go see the Blue Man Group or Celine Dion or something else. Or something else.
So the next item we're going to talk about, have you ever heard of the Devil's Rocking Chair?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He owns the Devil's Rocking Chair. And we actually did a story on this on David Glatzel and Arnie Johnson. You remember when we did that show?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, so the rocking chair was seen to be moving during like the exorcism of the boy of David Glatzel and rocking. And they say that like a demonic type figure has been seen sitting in the rocking chair, rocking it.
No, I can see why that's in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see why that's in
there it is right there.
Yeah, I can see why that's there.
Yeah.
Would I ever sit in it?
No, hell no.
Uh-uh.
No.
Nope.
I don't have any like desire to do stuff like that. Do you see how people do that all the time? Like, oh, I'll touch this. Let's open this glass and let this.
It's kind of like tempting. It's like tempting. I don't want to say fate, but it is. It's like testing your armor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because Crystal, you and I know that we put on our armor. You know, what we call our armor. Bask ourselves in the light, all this other kind of stuff when we go into a possible negative environment.
Right.
But that's kind of like, that's testing it. It's like, do you not think you may have a chink in your armor somewhere that it could possibly seep in? Come on, let's get real.
I know someone really well who, and Zach Bagans walked in their house and they have crosses. They've got like a little entryway and then you walk through another set of doors, then it's their actual house. They got crosses on the wall in their house, and a cross didn't just fall off the wall when Zach walked in their house. It flew to the other side of the room when Zach walked in their house. So he himself has a lot of attachments, I believe. He has to. I mean, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Southern California's Sasquatcher, playing with fire. Absolutely.
Well, I believe that's true. I mean, but I don't think I think he's got something.
Yeah,
I believe he's got something, and I think it's never left him since he's got it, because Zach Bagan's his attitude has really gotten
awful,
crazy. It's horrible. It's negative. It's I don't even know what to say about it. It's kind of like he's just not the person he used to be when he started this whole thing with his 3-man band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if you just read on all the things that's been going on since he started, you're kind of like, wow, what happened to you?
Right.
And I mean, there's a good explanation why, everybody.
Yeah.
I think he's got something that he just hasn't gotten rid of.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's had it for many, many years.
Yes. Well, they were talking about Aaron Goodwin.
Yeah.
That he had an attachment at one point that made him very sick and
I
ill.
actually like him, though.
I do. I feel like I'm the Aaron.
Yeah, I like him.
It's like, hey, there's a dark, empty room down there that they throw things at you and call you names, and they could push you around a little bit. Brandy, why don't you go down there? Okay. I'll do that. You know, that's me. But I do like him. Now, the other one, what's his name?
Billy Tolley.
Billy Tolley. Thank you very much. I like him too, but he's a little nervous Nelly for me. You know?
And his blood pressure always goes out of whack all the time. He needs to maybe take a step back for a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little nervous Nelly. He's the kind I'd be like, nah, why don't you just sit back here and just hang tight. Hang tight back here.
Right.
You just man the command center, okay? Just get back there. You know, he'd be the one, because like I said, he gets a little bit antsy for me, and his vibrations are like super, super high with anxiety. So I'm like, no. But no, Aaron would be my favorite.
Yeah, well, Scott says, I came here to see the famous Swiss Miss Pigtails. Feeling a bit down lately. Well, we hope you feel better. And Brandy appreciates that.
Aww. Yeah. I'll have to start putting them up. It's just
she's slacking, guys. She's slacking.
It's not only slacking. It's just kind of like, this weather has been really not cooperating. So when I put my hair in braids, all it does is go. Pfft.
Right.
It doesn't even look pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'll make sure.
Go back onto the haunted museum stuff. Okay. Next item. This one's kind of cool. And I couldn't find a recent picture of it, but I got an old picture of it. You know anything about Bela Lugosi's mirror? So Bela Lugosi, he was the actor. He was best known for the portrayal of Dracula back in 1931. Did you know that?
The original, with the one with the V in the forehead, and the blah, 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 I'm going to suck your blood thing. Yeah, that's him.
And apparently there was a mafia style killing in the same room that the mirror was in. And now it's said to harness the evil energy. I know, right?
Now,
and Bela Lugosi, he was into the occult.
Listen, you know what, though? I mean, I might want to see that.
Yeah.
I might want to see that. Yeah, I'd want to see that. I'd want to see that. Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be scrying with a mirror or anything. Honestly, no. But
no.
I would want to see that. That's some type of memorabilia that, okay. All right. That's okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. I got more here. This one, I didn't show you guys a picture of Bela Lugosi's mirror. So it's just an old picture, and it's actually Bela Lugosi sitting in front of it. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nothing special.
No, I kind of like it actually, because look, you could see from both sides while you're getting ready and stuff. I like that mirror.
Right? You don't find good ones like that anymore. You can find smaller ones, but
right.
Yeah, you don't find nice ones like that anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that was interesting. Oh shoot, what did I do here? Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about, let me take that mirror picture down, is this one actually is kind of morbid too. And you know what? I actually found a picture, but I'm not going to show it. I didn't even want to see it. It was kind of morbid, but it's Zach Bagans owns Chris Farley, the comedian, his death photo. Yeah.
Again.
Seriously.
Why? Right. Why would you own something like that? Because I honestly, that has nothing to do with the paranormal. That has to do with all morbid curiosity. That is all.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that's awful.
That is awful.
I honestly, I think it's disrespectful to Chris Farley's family, myself. Don't you?
It is, but you have to ask yourself, how is he still getting away with showing it? Because I'm sure the Farley family could have sued him or done something with that, because he acquired that photo from somewhere.
He did. And I couldn't find out where or how much he paid for it, unfortunately. But it's just morbid. And so Chris Farley,
if they wanted that photo, they could have gotten it back. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they could have gotten something like that back, because that's very personal. That's very personal.
Yeah, for sure. Next item that I have, and I do have a picture of, the Demon House staircase. Brandy, you want to talk about the Demon House? What that exactly is? I know it was in Indianapolis, Indiana.
There's a whole documentary about this where he had bought this house in Indiana.
And here's the staircase that's at the museum with Zach Bagans. That is Zach Bagans for you, those of you that don't know.
Right. Well, it started off as he went to investigate this house because they were saying that there was demonic activity and blah, blah, blah. So they went to do this, but, so Zach Bagans ended up buying this house. Well, come to find out, with all the activity that he was experiencing in the house, they deemed it to have demonic activity, and they tore it down.
Yeah.
They tore it down, and they kept that staircase.
Yep, they did. And they put it in his museum. It's in his museum.
Right. And you can watch it. It's called The Demon House is what this documentary thing is called. So you can go out there and watch the whole thing on it. But the family that was living in there, I believe, I don't know if they were renting it or owned it. I think they were renting it. And
so I will tell you that it was affecting a child. And
Yes.
and there's multiple witnesses, like this child started acting out, multiple witnesses of him, like being possessed and just bad things. And people who would even, I believe it was a police officer that even came to the house to, because of a call, like he got sick. Like it was a bad house, guys. Like,
Right.
there's nothing
It
funny
was a
about
terrible
it.
house.
Yeah.
So he did level it. He did take it all the way down. And why? I don't know the significance of the stairs. I don't know the story behind the stairs.
Yeah.
We probably need to look into that because now I'm curious about that. Why did he keep the stairs of all things? Because I think those are the stairs that led to the basement, which there was all the activity.
And I believe, if I remember right, I think that it's been a while since I've watched that documentary. But I think Zach, when he stayed in there by himself, didn't he go, his eyesight got messed up for a while?
I don't remember. It has been a few years since I've watched that.
Me too. Me too.
Now I got to go watch it.
I know, right? What I'm saying. And I want to give a shout out to Haunted Souls Paranormal. We actually, they will be on next Thursday with us. And myself and unfortunately Brandy won't be able to go, but Paranormal Paul is going to go with me and to an event that they are putting on next week.
Right.
So,
right. I will be on an investigation in Texas.
Yep. You're going on a private case. So
yeah, I'll be out in the woods, people. I'll be out in the woods.
You'd be in the woods. Be in the woods. So yeah, so Brandy, what happened before the show? So we always hop on early and we just BS between the two of us. And why don't you tell what happened? Because what were we talking about?
We were talking about the demon house. We were sitting here talking about the demon house, and I kind of looked down and I moved my chair a bit like this, and all of a sudden I heard like a low, like a kind of almost like a growl type thing, but it was like right here in front of me. It was like that, and I was like, and I stopped talking and I'm looking and I'm raising my hands and I'm like, and I kept trying to figure out how I made that sound. I'm wiggling around in my chair and I'm rubbing on my desk and I'm trying to find everything that I could find. See, everything's shaking, not making the sound, making the sound. And I can't figure out where that sound came from. It only happened the one time and I've not heard it again. Thank goodness. But that was kind of weird. But I heard it here.
Talking about that.
Right. So I don't know if that came from inside my house or if it came through, the stream. I don't know. Yeah. It's very strange. Just something weird to throw out there. I'm just saying. But
that was weird.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Like 2 minutes before we started the show.
Right. And but I just don't know why he would have kept the stairs. I don't remember the significance of why the stairs. I mean, wouldn't you keep like a part of a wall, a door, a
picture, maybe? It'd be a little easier to get
part
out.
of the floor or something besides the stairs. But I'm sure there is a significance to it because I think that a lot of activity happened in the basement. Mm-hmm. And those are, of course, the stairs that go to the basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's why he kept those.
Actually, Haunted Soul says, add us and we can tell you. I am going to send you the link right now. I will send it to your, I'm going to send it to your messenger. So hold on.
That will be great.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't remember. Like I said, it's been a minute since I watched that. And I'm not too impressed with his investigation skills. So did I pay attention? Not really when I watched it the first time. I'm not impressed with his investigation skills. Now, if you put on somebody that I have total respect for when they walk into a place, absolutely I would have been focused in on what was happening and I'd probably remembered a whole lot more.
Yeah. I just sent you, Dan. I sent it to your messenger.
We'd love to have you, Dan.
Yep. So hop on if you'd like. Absolutely.
And so I'm thinking, that.
Okay. Where am I sending it? Hold on.
Uncaged Savage said, I think they dug under the stairs some. Did they find something in it? They
So
might have find something in it.
hold on, I'm gonna send it to Frankie. Hold on.
Oh, here comes Frankie. Now we've got somebody coming in from Haunted Garage, everybody. It's a party. It's ready to happen. We got a party going on.
Yeah. We got a week before pre-party for their party.
Right. Well, perfect. Perfect. You know, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad, you know, that their party was planned after the investigation that was planned for me, but
yeah,
well, I can see the pictures of the video though, so it'll be just as cool.
Okay. Well, why is it not copying? Hold on. Ugh. Hate when it does this. Copy. All right. There it is. All right, Frankie, you should have it. There you go. Sent it.
I mean, what does everybody think out there? Do they think these things are actually haunted? I mean,
honestly, I don't know, Brandy. I really don't know. I do have one more item to talk about while we're waiting on them to come on. And let's go ahead and talk about that really quick. And that is actually the transaxle from James Dean's car in which he was killed.
See, now that may be haunted. That may be haunted because we know.
It was a 1955 Porsche 550 Spider. And I will show that picture.
Because we know he loved that car. That was his love. That was his car. That, you know.
Yep. And guess how much Zach Bagans paid for that?
Oh, gosh. There's no telling with that thing.
Remember, the transaxle. It's not the whole car.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's no telling.
So do you want the answer?
Yeah.
$382,000.
See, I knew it was something outrageous. I knew it. You know, because we've talked about that. We've talked about people who love their vehicles or whatever so much that they could possibly haunt them. Actually, and Frankie's coming on from Haunted Garage, which he knows all about that haunted stuff. But, you know, and that brings me back to, like, I hate to go off subject, but I'm going to go off a little bit. But like that Flight 401 where it crashed, but they used parts that were still salvageable, put them on other planes, and they were having hauntings on other planes.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe he loved that car so much that would he haunt the parts of it? Yes.
Hell yeah. I think so too. That one could be one that, Anyway,
that's
a lot of money though, just for the little part. $382,000. Good grief, man!
I could buy a lot of stuff for $382,000.
Give me both.
I could go out and buy us a new Blondes and Booze mobile. You know what I mean?
I know, right? And have
it could be we could have a cruise Blondes and Booze mobile. Yeah.
Haunted Soul says they'll be on in a sec. So sounds good, guys.
Yeah. That's a cool name though, the Blondes and Booze mobile. Yeah.
That is a cool name.
There we go. We'll have our pictures plastered on it going down the road.
At least
that's what we need.
Yeah.
We'll put the logo on it, get the whole thing wrapped in that.
Well, we travel all over. So we'd be seen everywhere.
Exactly. That's what I mean. We could just do it. I mean, everybody would see it.
And what's really funny to me is somebody sent me a picture and I don't remember where they were. I want to say it was North Carolina, and they saw a truck with a Blondes and Booze sticker on the truck. And they sent it to me.
Wow.
It was like a year ago or something, but that was
cool. I know. We need to start handing out more.
For sure.
So, but while we're here and we're taking a minute while we're waiting on some guests, don't forget that the Texas Paracon down in Schertz, Texas is March 29th. So save that date. And if you can make it down to Schertz, Texas, come on down. We'll be there with the Kling brothers and many other people with, Heather Taddy, Shane Pittman.
Tennessee Race Chasers.
Yes. There's going to be a bunch of people there.
I think
And
Tex is coming.
Tex will be there. And a lot of the front porch crew will be there. So, hey, just come on down and we'll give you a sticker.
We will. We have lots of stickers.
Exactly. I got to give you a sticker.
Right.
So, yeah.
That'll be
fun. That'll be fun. And I don't want to forget about Greg Ogles and his release of his newest documentary, which will be January 4th. It is going to be held at a theater in Coleman, Alabama. You can look him up on Facebook. I think he has all the information there. The trailer is listed under Greg Ogles on YouTube if you want to go look at the trailer. But don't forget that's on January 4th. If you can't make it, he will have it so you can purchase it online and view it online. So that will be available to you that day, I believe, also.
But we are heading to Alabama. We are going to go.
We are going to Alabama.
Yep, we will be there. So that'll be fun. Also, at the end of this month, we actually have a really big announcement to make at the end of the month. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But with Tex and DMR, Paranormal Paul, and the whole crew. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We're all going to gain a couple extra pounds from Thanksgiving, and then we're going to lay it on you.
Yeah, Paul's going to Alabama too. He says party in Bama. That's it.
Yep.
And
so Paul's going to be going.
It's not Huntsville. It's Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah, Cullman.
Yeah, it's more so north Alabama.
Yeah, it's south of Huntsville, north of Birmingham.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Huntsville was that close. I thought, never mind. I'll just shut up because I don't know where Huntsville is.
I lived in Huntsville, and I know it's a little bit south of there. So not far, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. It's going to be some fun times. And also, we do have some events that we have planned next year. And just Brandy and I, Blondes and Booze, and for sure the museum. We always do that. And probably we'll do a Malvern Manor. We always do Malvern, so we'll keep you guys posted for all that too, because those are always fun.
Yeah, we're going to do that, but we're going to try and get out there and reach out to everybody. We're going to try to get to these conferences and things, and because we backed off of them, and then we're like, wait a minute, this is good, but it's not good because I don't know if it's like more of a disconnect with everybody, but it seems like we've had to pull back because of family reasons and things like that. So now that everything is kind of working itself out and stuff like that. So 2025, we should be getting back out there and getting back on the road. Yeah. So
actually, like the last couple of years, not excluding this year, last couple of years, like we busted our butts. We were out all the time. It seemed like
always
like every other
road.
week, Brandy, we had something going on, Thank you, T-Bone.
Right. We were always on the road. Yes. Thank you, yes. T-Bone.
And so, this year, we both, Brandy had issues going on in her family. I also had things going on in my family. So, we've done a few things this year, but we've really kind of had, Blondes has kind of been put second with both of us, family first. And,
right.
But I think 2025 is going to shape up to be a really good year for us. We'll get back onto things,
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not going to say it's my year because I'm not going to jinx myself like that, but it's going to be a better year. I'm going to tell you than the last one I've had, the last couple I've had. So
exactly.
Looking forward.
Yep. Frankie is on, and you're not Dan. I thought when it said Haunted Souls, I thought that was Dan. I'm sorry. We can't hear you. Turn on your mic.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Gotcha.
Yes.
We were actually podcasting and listening to you guys while we were getting set up.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
We had just gotten back from Vegas and we did a bunch out there, but we did do the Haunted Museum. We did the RIP tour. So there's the RIP.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Chris Farley picture is I believe he owns it, but it's not on display. It's not part of any of the tours.
Okay.
So
Really?
I know that. Yeah, you can bring that camera back a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, just set it back. Yeah.
So who all do you
I
have
think
there?
it's a little close.
Dude,
It's a
I'll
little.
sit here.
It's a little close.
You're fine. Well,
Who do you have there with you?
I have Dan.
Hey, Dan.
hey, what's up?
Hey, Dan, we can't see
I
him at
Let
home.
me switch my cam here. Hold on. Let me go to settings real quick. You'll get a. Let me just go to my Mac. Boom. Then you can get.
There you go. I see you both now.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Good job.
Yep.
So can you guys talk about like what all you experienced there? And did you like pass out in the puppet room or anything like that?
No, but we have a reason as to why people might be passing out.
Really?
Okay, good.
Yeah, and we don't have any conclusive evidence of this, but they pump fog, like fog machines, into every frickin' room. And it gets to a point where it's super heavy. You guys know the story of the house, right? It was owned by Jenna Jameson's father.
I did not know that.
He was a member of Anton LaVey's Satan group.
So that's where the
Oh, that's right. Okay, now that you said it. Okay, yeah.
He has he had rituals down in his basement, and his son was affected by that. And then that's how I guess Jenna Jameson knows Zach Bagan. So when you go into the tours, yeah. But like Zach is like it's funny because it gets to be like the I show again. It's like I'm Zach Baggins and this is my best friend Post Malone, and Post Malone's like I met you once, but like just and so he tells the story about this, and so the basement side of it is part of the RIP tour. So you have to buy it's like $83 with tax. It's like $90 for the go down there. If you're on the standard tour, they make you wait above, but that was the only place me and Dan could breathe good because there was no fog machine.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
it is worth every penny. I do not want to just sit here and bash. I think one of your messages was from somebody that said that they disagree with the way he goes, and I agree 100%. He's a big provoker, and we've been ghost hunting for a very long time. I mean, Dan started about 7 years ago. I started when I was 17. Jeremy too. Jeremy's
and just to let everybody know that actually Frankie and I used to be on the same team, paranormal team together.
Yes.
So, and then I met Dan, Brandy and I did at a paranormal.
Yeah.
in Dublin.
So we all just kind of connected, and here we are. We're friends. So
And now me and Frankie are Frankie is
partners.
partners now at Haunted Souls Paranormal.
Yeah.
very cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
We joined forces, and we just signed Emmaus Village as our headquarters. So we have an exclusive contract with them for 4 years. So we'll be running the events there for their paranormal team. And then we have another couple meetings with a couple other properties too. We're trying to really kind of hone in on what you guys were saying too about like, I think if you have too many teams in there, a lot of teams allow certain things that you shouldn't really have in houses, like Ouija boards. And the one thing that kind of off-putting, especially for some of your viewers, is this idea that Zach invites these Satan priestess to do rituals in his basement, and he conjures all this crap in the house. And it's just like, it's just not something that I would ever do. I wouldn't bring in darkness. And he's trying to make that the most haunted house. And I don't know that I ever felt that I was being haunted. There's a heaviness there, but I think it's like they burn a lot of incense too. And so you have a mixture of fog and incense, and you're walking into every room. It's the only
floors are on level.
The floors are on level. So it's very easy for somebody to, if you have asthma or you just take in all that stuff, it's very easy to get dizzy pretty quick and fall.
Or even just have vertigo, it sounds like, with the
Vertigo,
floors.
yeah.
And,
Or if your equilibrium is off. I mean, it seems like that would make you.
And he has pictures and their videos of people like face planting into things and stuff like this is the most diabolical room, and this guy just face plants into the wall.
Yeah. That's the funniest thing about the tour, no matter where you are. And I went because of Tonic Garage. I wanted to see James Dean's Transaxle. I mean, I've done a whole episode on Little Bastard, and it's
of course.
So to see that was pretty cool. And later that week, we would go to Buffalo Bill's Casino in Prim, Nevada, and see Bonnie and Clyde's car, which is over there.
That's cool.
Yes, and that car definitely has. There's an eeriness to that car too. I mean, the blood stains are still on the seats. The bullet holes are all there. It's interesting. But with Zach's place, the demon house is on the RIP tour. So the RIP, you have to get RIP to go into the demon room. And then every room you go into, it's really funny because me and Dan kept looking at each other. It's like, well, I thought that was the most haunted thing. And no matter where you go, it's like, you're about to enter this room that has the most haunted diabolical object in the museum. And then literally after you're done with that, you go into the next room and it's like, this room holds the most haunted diabolical object. Wait a minute now.
It's like going in, it's like going into any haunted location. This is the most haunted location in America.
Right. Exactly.
Every room is done, but I mean, it's done nicely. It's
done well.
It's the stuff he has is just phenomenal. The stuff that he does.
I mean, he has Lily, he has Peggy, he has two of the most haunted dolls in the world. Yeah. And when you go into Peggy's room, she has a spirit box, which is kind of cool. So sometimes she interacts with people. He's just like we saw him too, which was kind of weird because his house is right next door.
Zach Bagan's?
Yeah, he lives right next door. Yeah,
I did not know
literally, you drive into the museum and there's a gate and you can see his house. And his house is beautiful. It's all black, and he has these huge gargoyles and he has a huge statue of Saint Michael right in his front entrance. And we saw him come right out of his house and jump into a car. It looks like they were doing a shoot because they were putting a lot of like.
What kind of car did he drive? Just curious.
It was a big white GMC.
Okay.
I know that Count did one of his cars. He has a black limousine that's pretty cool. Not a limousine. He has a hearse that Count did. It's a lowrider. It's haunted, of course, because it held up. And then me and him did tattoos at Count's tattoo shop when we were there. Nice. Yeah. So, but it's well worth, like if you're in Vegas and if you're a spooky person or if you like paranormal stuff, I mean, it's gold. It's paranormal gold. I mean, like everything you think about, the Devil's Rocking Chair, Conjuring stuff. They have an exact replica Annabelle doll, which is really scary. He has one of the Booth brothers sold him the 23 pages of Father O'Halloran's copy of his diary for The Exorcist.
From The Exorcist.
Yeah. So, and you see all this stuff and it's just like hanging on the walls and like, so it's really
like what you guys were talking about, Dr. Kevorkian's van.
That
room is so tight. I mean, you're like right up on that van.
Yeah, man.
It's open. It's got a.
But if you're a true crime person, his serial killer collection is unbelievable. He has about 15 paintings from John Wayne Gacy.
Wow.
He has the ashes of, is it Manson?
Manson. They're in a painting.
Manson.
Yeah, because I showed the painting actually earlier on the show. Like,
he has all his paintings. He has and then Bordella from Kansas City, the butcher. He has like the needles that were in the people that he killed. It's in a mannequin and it's set up like a kill room. It's really disturbing. A lot of people don't like that room. That's the room that gets the most like, dude, that was wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's really trying to, like I said, I mean, it's very well done. It's not. So when you go into like Demon House, which was the only time that I think, and me and Dan had talked about this, I don't think Zach was faking that movie. I think he really was scared because
I don't think he would have torn down the house if it weren't real. You know, I think he would have tried to do something with it. You know, knowing him
up in that bed and he's locked in there and they plywood the door shut.
Right.
And at like 4:00 in the morning, like that thing comes down the hallway and that's like not acting.
So funny you say that because in the movie, you don't get to see what's in the hallway. Because at the end of that documentary, you just see him on the bed and he scoots against the wall and it stops.
Yeah.
But in the museum, you get to see what's in that hallway.
Yeah. And but it's, I'm like,
he shows the video of what he sees.
I would have made a Looney Tune exit. You saw my whole shape of my body.
Right.
He does have the stairs, the dirt underneath the stairs,
all the items that were in the basement,
and then everything that they unburied underneath the stairs.
Yeah. Wow.
See, I couldn't remember. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie that he had done, and I had forgot the significance of the stairs. But now that you all are saying it with the dirt and then under the stairs and the whole, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's.
But now I'm still gonna go watch it again. I'm still gonna go watch it again.
and it's dark. And then he comes up. Every room has a video of him describing what's in the room or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, here you go. And then the lights go, and then these metal doors open up into the ceiling, and it's all behind plexiglass. It's all red. And you see the stairs is actually on display with the dirt underneath the stairs.
Cool. It's like
looks like the basement.
It's like these metal vinyls, and they just kind of close and they shutter and then they raise. So when they lock you in there if you're on the RIP tour, you get to go in the room, and then that door doesn't have a latch because they're afraid. So it just closes, but there's no lock or anything. So literally if you leaned against it, you'd fall through. And they did that intentionally. So when you go in there and when you've seen the movie, like you guys have, it kind of like, that's part of the museum that that's the actual one that I believe that's the most believable Zach's ever been, in my opinion, since season 1 and 2.
Right.
Yes.
Where I really liked the show, where they were like real ghost hunters and not everything was a freaking demon.
Right.
Back when they were actually just, doing Ghost. Like, can we get back to Ghost? Because now everything's demons, and we had talked about that on our podcast, and on we got interviewed for something. Me and Jeremy were interviewed for we had a TV show that we were in line with Blumhouse, and they were just saying some weird stuff, and I'm like, I come from a long line of exorcists. I know Father Gary Thomas. Like, I've had conversations with him. I visit with him at least once a year or email him, and demons are rare, man. Like, it's not like you just. Also, what the hell would they be hanging out there for? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go anywhere. What the hell are you hanging out with an old abandoned basement for, dude? Like,
Right.
And the funny thing about Demon House, I will say, is that we all live in the Midwest. Me and Jeremy have been to Demon House. We've been to Gary and Anna, where it actually took place. The movie Deliverance, Glenn Close does an incredible job of acting in that film. But even then, it was really a lot of missteps. When you watch Zach's movie and then you watch The Deliverance, it's like, wow, man, this is like, they redid the whole script, and it was like this minority with the biracial, and it had all these themes in it. And I'm like, what the hell is happening in this film? Get to the demon. But when we've gone to, he had just raised it when me and Jeremy had gotten there. Because literally the movie came out, and I'm like, we're driving to Indiana. And we did. We went and we saw it, and it was just all picked up and raised. And going there and seeing the basement, and he's saying that, like, in the movie, that it was like a 12-foot demon, but like basements are only 8 feet tall. So was the head just floating around upstairs? Because how does a 12-foot demon fit in an 8-foot? There's some problems there. I saw shoulders coming at me, and the head, So there was just some, but there's that story in general. I mean, the older kid eventually does commit suicide. The boy, he does take his own life a couple years later.
You think it had something to do with the house?
I mean, the mom this is not the first time that the mom had pulled something like this. If you go into the history of it, like, she was trying to do the whole, like, Warren thing where, you sensationalize. I mean, Lutz had a very good idea when he bought the DeFeo house in Long Island. So we're talking Amityville now.
Right.
That is a complete fake story. So it's like, that guy was brilliant as far as marketing was concerned. He bought the house for half the price and then made this huge story, and then went on a book tour, and then got a movie deal. And I mean, so it lends credence to this idea that, maybe that wasn't true. More stuff coming out on the Warrens every day that, I mean, the real exorcist who was Malachi Martin, that, not Ed Warren. Ed Warren was never given the permission from the church to do exorcisms. Like, that's not you're married.
Not an exorcist.
Yeah, you're not an exorcist.
Church. Right. Yeah.
An exorcist. So that conjecture is weird. So, but as far as the museum is concerned, the Devil's Rocking Chair is the one that's the devil on trial. It's the third Conjuring film.
Arnie Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, and he did a documentary on Netflix. I don't know if you guys had seen that. And when you hear his story about how the Warrens just basically exploited his family for money and greed, that's what kind of Father Gary Thomas was saying about these people. Like, exorcists don't take money from people, but the Warrens did. And so he believed they became corruptible. So in that case, it's such a sad story. about, what happens to them. But seeing the Devil's Rocking Chair was definitely eerie.
Yeah, on the RIP, you get to go like literally right next to the
rocking chair.
chair.
Some people will see it from behind, but then they'll open the gate for the RIP tour, so you can you're like within inches from it, and it's just
wow.
And there's like an opening, so you can actually like smell the old wood.
Same with the Divot Box. That was
the Divot Box was an incredible that's one of the coolest attractions in the hotel because everybody or the house. Everybody's seen and heard about the Dybbuk's box. It was one of his episodes on haunted objects. And what they've done to that room is so cool. So they have it in the middle of all this glass, and all the glass has Hebrew prayers engraved in it, and it surrounds it. So you can't get near the Dybbuk's box there. It's insane. But yeah, I think you guys would really like it. It's worth the tour. Just because of everything that we've been working toward and ghost hunting all these years. And so things start to come to life. It's like, man, these things did exist.
And there's some things that you did know. Now, I know you're showing pictures. Do you know anything about the guy that owned the Bunny Ranch?
I don't know much about him.
Well, he has.
I've heard of the Bunny Ranch.
Do what?
I've heard of the ranch, but I don't know about him.
The owner of the Bunny Ranch died. And apparently you walk into a room and there's a bed in this room.
All the furniture
of this gentleman's bedroom is in this. And his robe is laying on the mattress and his hat's up there. And they proceed to tell the story of Lamar Odom passed away, OD'd, almost OD'd at the Bunny Ranch. And that he said that he never tried drugs, that the owner tried to kill him, so-and-so. They have a picture of him with two ladies, the owner sitting there on the couch, and in the back of it, you see this demon-looking woman that they caught on camera.
It's awful looking
and everything. So they said Lamar Odom had passed, OD'd on this bed, and then the owner was sleeping on this bed when he died and stuff like that. So then the TV goes down into this headboard, and it says, and Zach comes on. He's like, "Now this is the most weirdest thing. Everything. Keep your eyes on the mattress." The lights go off and they turn a black light on,
and
it lights up. I mean, the whole
you see all the baby gravy.
Yeah, all the baby. It's just stains.
That's sick. I mean, seriously, what kind of person would even want to own something like that?
It's
blood and it was.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, and he's like, "All right, well, then we're gonna go in this room."
Yeah,
they just go to another room to have. I mean,
but his carnival exhibit. If you guys hate clowns,
I don't mind clowns.
Oh my God,
not a place.
I don't like them.
You're face to face with mannequin clowns,
and there's jump scares in that one.
Yeah,
and they get you because the whole tour hadn't had any jump scares at that point. But he has a beautiful collection of the full carnival that somebody in the 20s carved by hand and made everything move. And it's huge. It's the little tiny baby carnival, and everything works. And they tell the story about the carnival and the carnival makers on it and this whole thing. And then they pump this stuff in the air that smells like
cotton
candy and ass. It was awful.
I don't know.
It was awful.
It was an awful smell. It was.
I'm like, you're trying to do the Disney Main Street thing, and it's not working. It's not working.
You're like, oh, this doesn't smell so, and then you're like, ew.
It smelled like a porta potty in a carnival is what it smelled like.
Oh wow, that's bad.
It was.
That's why I can see why people passing out.
I don't.
And then they had this guy, had a magician. They had a Hitler clown, which was it was so bizarre. Like you walk into this clown room and the clown's just doing this.
and the clown was made in Germany.
Oh no!
I think it was pre-Hitler though.
Yeah, it was pre-Hitler.
It was pre-Hitler, but it was that. All it was doing was just raising its one arm up and down. It was like,
oh my goodness!
So Nazi clowns, demon house paraphernalia, and they're really good about
there's all kind. I mean, just the stuff that this guy's got, the different dolls of marionette puppets, and just oh my God, it's like every room is packed full of stuff.
Wow,
and it's just weird. Of like they gave him all this stuff. People have like just here you go. the dollhouse that's made from the guy that the replica dollhouse that's in that first room.
Oh God, yeah, that thing's awful.
Was like the murder. He committed a murder. Somebody committed a murder up in the top, and they made a dollhouse look.
Yeah,
It's like too exact. It's kind of where they got that film Heredity, where she does the dollhouse. That's where that concept comes from. Is this guy did this dollhouse of this murder house, and it is like to a T. It is like.
Yeah,
I told Stephanie at McIntyre she should do that. She should have somebody make McIntyre.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
okay. So I've got a question for you. The demon house was it was located in Gary, Indiana.
Yes.
Now we all know that Gary, Indiana is one of the worst places ever. I mean, it's like high in crime. It's not good to raise a family. It's like, it's becoming the murder capital of the United States. Do you think that a lot of that negativity had seeped into that house through the years?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, it's not it's actually it's a good thinking theme. Absolutely, I think that's something to that. Sure. So Gary, Indiana is responsible for the guns that come into Chicago. So in Gary, Indiana, you can buy 5 handguns and then just drive over the border to Illinois and go to Chicago.
Thank you, Mary.
It's this place that, like, I'm from Miami, Florida. I lived in the city of St. Louis for 10 years because I was a city kid from Miami, and I don't mind crime. East St. Louis, North St. Louis is definitely dangerous. Driving during the day in Gary, Indiana was probably the scariest city I'd been in.
Wow.
I lived in Vegas and Pittsburgh and a bunch of other places too. So I think it definitely has an evil element about it. And it's got a very strange history too, because Gary, Indiana at one point was an entertainment capital of the world. It had its own song, kind of like St. Louis.
Yeah.
And
the Jacksons live from Gary, Indiana. Yeah,
and there was Peoria, Illinois too has very striking similarities to Gary, Indiana too, and I do believe there's something to the evil that saturated the land there. Absolutely. It definitely breeds this
negativity.
There's no way of bringing it back type of idea. Like, this is where Gary, Indiana is going to stay. The cops won't even go. A lot of the cops wouldn't even go in the building, man.
They wouldn't even go to the house. They were just like, yeah, at the house. Yeah.
Wow.
Once it crawled up and like you had all those witnesses, like there's definitely something to Demon House. That is not a contrived story. Like I said, it's probably Zach's best work. I mean, because they had very good, a social worker that moved out of the state. Like, I'm out. I'm not doing this in here.
When that kid climbed up the wall, she was like, nope,
yeah, that kid climbed up the wall backwards, and even the doctor, the nurse, and the police officer all was just like,
So, do you think that Zach did the right thing by demolishing the house?
Yeah, but I don't know that the house was ever cleared, right? So Sally House, right, for instance. I mean, recently the Pickmans have been on. They're doing some kind of RV camping trip where they're going to talk about stories of the Sally House. But they will not go back to the Sally House. They recommend that people do not go back to the Sally House. And we have told people not to go either because I've always liked Tony. I was always good. I've never had an issue with Devin and Tony.
Tony is my brother from another mother.
Right. And when Tony tells me if he won't go back there, then I'm like, we did go. When I had my bachelor party, we were in Kansas City and we drove over to Atchison and I'm like, let's just go by it. And we went by it, and honestly, you call somebody and they'll let you in the door and you pay over the phone. They won't even go in the house. Like, they just, here's the door code. Good luck. Like, I'm out, dude.
Here's the thing. The city of Atchison advertises it as being haunted by a little girl, and you and I know, I mean, bull crap. It's not a little girl. It's a true demonic entity there.
Oh, yeah. And they've never cleared it either. It was never cleared. Deb and Tony left that house a lot like the way that the Lutz family left Amityville. They just left the thing in there and it didn't get any of us. Let's get the hell out. So it was just That thing is still in there,
To
dude.
the next people.
That thing is just like bacon, like a biscuit, man. Like I wouldn't go in that house, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple guys on our tour that stayed like 2 nights in that house. I'm like,
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, it was a
Thank you, Joe.
father and daughter.
Yeah, it was a father-daughter, and I think he lost one of his. I don't know. There's like a death in the family or something. It was just like,
Yeah,
and you guys went to
Sally. He went
house?
down. Yeah, he went down in the basement and was like,
He was
provoking it, like, come to me, and I'm like, whoa, dude,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I'm like,
Well, here's the thing, though, with the Sally House, and a lot of people believe that the whole thing is faked because some people go in there and absolutely nothing happens. And then some people go in there and they get in a car wreck on the way home. Or I know for a fact, a teenage girl just peeked in the window and got possessed by something. You know, it chooses its victims very carefully.
If you're susceptible to weakness, I mean,
Exactly.
I can honestly and Jeremy will probably back this too. I don't know that Dan's ever met Tony, but I've ghost hunted with Tony and Deb at least 3 times with PTF. And I can honestly say that Tony's not a liar.
No, he's not.
Lie.
He's the one that I've Kathy and I from the museum, we do the demonic cases with Tony.
Yeah. And he knows his stuff, man. And like, for me, it's just like Tony's not a type of person that would make up a story like that.
And here's the thing about him is he doesn't want the attention. He's not out looking for the attention. He never was.
They went away from you for a very long time.
Yep, they did.
When I saw that thing pop up on Facebook, I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because they weren't even ghost hunting there for a minute. So I was
we can talk about that backstage off screen.
Yeah.
Off camera. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about it.
We'll be on
There's
Thursday.
a few things that we just don't talk about on camera.
Yeah.
We'll be on Thursday.
But I would be curious for like a Pickman to go to like the haunted museum. I would like to go with him and see what he thinks, because like, I mean, he's been in it, man. Like if you watch the old sightings and stuff of him on it and like some of that stuff, man, like I'm just like, nope. Like, but
yeah,
some of the attractions there too, like when they get into the transaxle, for me was something that like I was just floored by the fact that Zach had owned it, and the Kevorkian van. I know he tried to buy Bundy's Beetle too.
Oh wow!
But the owner of the East Alcatraz crime museum, would not sell it. So we got to see. We had a lot of. So we're bringing Jeremy back because we're going back to it. We got to have Jeremy with us, but we're doing a different tour. We're going to do Alcatraz.
Cool.
Yeah. So
nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, just let everybody know that you guys are actually scheduled to be guests on Blondes next Thursday.
Next
Thursday.
Thursday.
In 6 days. And do you want to give them just like a sneak peek, a little hint about what we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about our new location here. It's the largest paranormal destination location in Missouri. It's the Emmaus Village. It's emmausvillage.com. We have, I think, 5 tickets left for public investigation on Saturday, the 16th. It's the only time we'll be doing an investigation this year. We have some other dates on the website for next year. But for this year, if you don't have anything going on and you want to ghost hunt what I believe is one of the most haunted places I've ever been to,
Wow.
We'll be showing some footage on Thursday night. We'll be showing some full-bodied apparition. I finally got my Holy Grail. By accident, we actually went ghost hunting with a state senator of Missouri, and his host, Eric Michaels, was wearing one of my body cams, and he caught what we're calling the boy in the hallway. And it's worse than Sir No Face. I mean, it is going to give you guys. It's going to make your audience jump. I mean, we're going to show some stuff. We'll have disembodied voices as well.
I look forward to it because, like I said, I've investigated, with you, and I know you guys are not about, just jumping to conclusion that it is truly paranormal. You guys always break it down like, let's try to come up with a reasonable explanation for this. So like, if you say it's legit, man, I believe you guys.
Yeah.
And then you get to investigate Friday night. So
I am. So Paranormal Paul is coming with me. Yes, because Brandy is doing a private case in Texas.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'll be in Texas. Yeah, unfortunately. So, fortunately, but unfortunately, it's like bittersweet. I'm gonna miss it, but yet I'm gonna be doing something cool. So I'm excited.
You're welcome back anytime.
We're gonna do another one. So this will be a pro night. This is just all paranormal teams that are coming out. just to get our name out there to spread, to spread the Emmaus and stuff. And we're going to be doing another one December 15th. So we'll invite you guys back out on the 15th.
Yeah.
And
I can do the 15th. I'll make sure I don't have anything on the 15th.
14th is the Saturday.
14th.
Yeah, you're not going to be there because you have to.
It's Bailey's
It's
birthday.
Bailey's
It's my
birthday,
wife's
yeah.
birthday. We can't miss that.
Yeah.
You better not miss that, Frankie.
No.
No, you better not miss that. Better
You guys
not miss that.
Stay here. Don't hang up. I've got to. I'm going to shut the show off and then talk to you guys a minute backstage.
Okay.
But I did put your link out there for Haunted Souls Paranormal on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. You can go and subscribe. Now, Frankie, are you still doing the Haunted Garage, or are you going to go solely over to? Okay. All right. So I'll make sure that we get that link out there too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And real quick, I want to give quick shout outs and thank yous to T-Bone, to Mary Angel Magdalene, Joe Two Pops, and Joe Two Pops again. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate you guys. And tomorrow night, I will be on with Paranormal Paul, and we have Josh Hurd from Malvern Manor, I know, is the guest. And
Josh, a good dude.
yeah, we love him. He's one of our favorite people. So anyway, you guys hang on, and we'll see everybody tomorrow in Paul's chat. And then we'll see you guys.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.